JT, start with you. Just after a couple of days to reflect, how do you look back on both the incredible season you guys had, the run you went on, and also the way it ended in games 6 and 7?
Yeah, I think it was a fun season. I think we learned a lot about ourselves as a group, and you look back at the, getting the guys together early for camp and stuff. I think it really paid off. I thought our team was really close this year. We got better as we went. Learned along the way and came up short, but I think it was a really good learning experience for a lot of guys.
Thatcher, what can you tell us about what's happened with you the last few weeks, the initial injury that held you out of Game 2 against Nashville, and then how close you might have been to returning had things gone differently in Game 7?
Yeah, I mean, probably the hardest thing I've had to go through as a player. To play, obviously we've been through some tough years here, and finally get the opportunity, and it's always tough watching. So yeah, it was really hard, but I was really close to coming back, and I was looking to probably be available for the next series had we gotten to that point.
JT, wondering, I mean, you guys had a great year. A lot of guys had career highs. You guys were very healthy during the regular season. What's the challenge of rinsing and repeating and having another great regular season to follow that up?
Yeah, I think that is the challenge in itself. But I think the whole point of creating a culture and DNA as a group is that way you're not thinking about that stuff. It just becomes part of the way we play. So we're gonna stress that again going into next season. And we developed a bit of a standard for ourselves as a group, and I think that once you have that created, it's easy to fall back and what the baseline is and what you expect out of yourself and the teammates. So, it's well deserved. We want to still be playing, but the break, take some time off, and then we'll start ramping up again at the end of summer.
Tyler, you're obviously contract up. How would you like to return to Vancouver, I guess is my question for next year?
Yeah, I would love to. What we've been able to build here the last year and a half, I think it's really special to be a part of. It's an unbelievable city. The fans were, quite amazing in the playoffs. It was something special stepping out for every game, and I would love to be back.
Question for Tyler. What have you seen? What has been the biggest growth of this group over the last couple of years, where we saw, from 2020 to last year, it was kind of downward trajectory, but then you guys were able to bounce back after this year. So can you talk about the growth of this group overall?
Yeah, I mean, when the changes were made, I think it was January last year, we found out pretty quick, the standard and the culture were going to change, and they needed to. And I think for guys that were here, I think everybody should be pretty proud of just buying into, where we were trying to take the group and burying our head and working. It's, it's pretty special to be in the position we're in now, looking back to where we've come from. And, in saying that, we just want to keep getting better and continue that buy-in mindset to where we just keep improving as a group.
Elias, I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about what it's been like for you to come in right at the trade deadline and go on this run with this team here.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, a great group of guys. Obviously, came in at a good time and got to know a lot of guys during the All-Star weekend and had a lot of fun here. Obviously, we fell a little short, but, I thought we all should be proud, and it was a good experience for everyone to, push Edmonton for 7 games in round 2. So, I mean, it was great.
It's no secret that you're a free agent heading into the summer here. What are you looking for in a deal, and did you have enough fun to return to Vancouver?
Be really specific.
Yeah.
Years in salary.
No, I don't know. I mean, obviously, next couple of days, probably talk to my agent and go from there. I mean, it's still pretty fresh, and so I haven't even really put a thought into it.
JT,
yeah,
you're hiding back there. I know that you and Quinn and the leadership group really kind of dug in last summer, right? And had talked to each other about making this season different. And obviously we saw it was. I know talking to Patrick Alvin, he says, you know, it's a great season, but it's important to remember you lost your last game in the second round. How important is it now not to be satisfied and not to be complacent or think, well, we did it this year, next year we'll cruise past 100 points again? How much hunger and intensity does there need to be to take yet another step?
I think that, I can't speak on behalf of everybody, but I hope that, that taste of the playoffs and seeing Vancouver in May and what it's like to play a Game 7, puts a hunger in a lot of guys' stomachs and shows how close we are and at such a quick turnaround, I guess, from last year. And, we have at the end of the day, we have a really good hockey team and we have a lot of good qualities, and these opportunities just don't come around very often. I've learned that, and over the years of my career, and I was spoiled with playoff hockey as a kid, and then all of a sudden you go 5 years without it, and then I'm, 31 years old, and when you look at it like that, things happen quickly, and I just really hope that that is going to be a challenge, is not taking it for granted and raising the bar again, because we could feel good about what we did this year, but at the end of the day, we still lost, like you said, and for me, it makes me want to work even harder knowing that we're a goal or two away from Final Four, right? So it's going to be a good test for us.
Thatcher, just based on how your last few seasons have gone injury-wise, would you support limiting your workload in the regular season?
That's not really up to me. So I'm sure, I'll sit down with Ian and the rest of the coaching staff and evaluate kind of the best way to move forward with that kind of thing. But yeah, we'll see.
And Elias, as you head into the off season, how much weight do you put into culture, fit, coaching when you decide where you want to play next season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot. Obviously, I really enjoy my time here, and like I said earlier, we'll see what happens. Obviously we'll fall a little short, but there's a really good group here, a lot of good players, and obviously we would like to play longer, but there's a lot of aspects in the place, and yeah.
Tyler, question for you just about the coaching staff with guys like Adam Foote, Sergei Gonchar around, and this whole staff. It felt like this is the best defensive style we've seen from this Canucks group, especially this core of players. With the coaches that you guys have, how beneficial are they for you for just not necessarily changing your game, but finding the best part of your game defensively?
Yeah, they were awesome. I've said it a bunch, but especially when talking about our D-core, there wasn't a lot of guessing for us stepping out on the ice. They held us very accountable. They come into the rink every day with constant reminders, things that we can get better at, and I thought that communication and that approach from Footer and Gonch on the back end, helped all of us out.
Thatcher, one for you. The very nature of your position puts a tremendous strain on the body and the movements that you guys have to make in today's game. When you talk to Ian, do you have to change anything structurally in your game, or is it more off-season maintenance? How do you approach the off-season?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a certain way of looking at it. Going into next season, maybe I can tweak a couple things system-wise, but I'm not going to try and reinvent my game or anything. Obviously, I put a lot of work in the summer and during the season, maintenance-wise, and that's part of the frustration when something like that does happen, knowing how much work you put in to make sure that doesn't happen. So just try and keep learning and growing in that area, and do everything I can to stay healthy.
Can you take something from it? Like, you're not an anomaly. I mean, goalies around the league suffering the same ailments. Can you take something from that? Like, I'm not this guy who's injury prone. It comes with the position.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel good regardless, not being able to play, especially in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's a physical sport. Anyone can get hurt. Obviously goalies are, probably have a little bit different injuries than the players do, but they happen, and it's something you got to deal with.
JT, a 100-point season for you. Obviously, you've done a lot of good things, and a lot has been made this year about your personal growth and maturity, and you've kind of downplayed at a time saying, look, a lot of good has gone on here, and, we're winning, and maybe that's why. But have you been able to kind of see where you're at in your career and your importance, as kind of the emotional heartbeat of this group and how you've taken that step?
Yeah, I really do believe it's a fine line. Like, when you're winning, my emotions accepted, and when you're losing, it is certainly not. So I just think that's why I downplay it. Is, I am who I am, and I just think that what comes to mind is the staff here has helped me embrace who I am instead of run from it. It was good that I'm kind of wearing my heart on my sleeve and a little louder, but help me, channel it. And it's not like, hey, don't be like this guy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't look into it that much. I'm just trying to do my job. And if I do my job, it gives our team a better chance of winning. And if everybody does that to a man, I just think it makes everybody look better.
Thatcher, can I ask you about the goaltenders that played in your place? And obviously you developed a really close relationship with Casey. But you also went through a similar situation to maybe what Artie goes through next year. There was a time when you were asked, hey, more time in the American League, or would I rather be here? And you wanted to be here. How do you see that situation playing out? And just talk a bit about what those guys did when you weren't available.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about both of them. Stepping in like that, obviously Artie was fantastic. Played his ass off for this group, and I tried to talk to him as much as I could. I didn't want to get in his way or be overbearing. It's a lot on his plate, but I felt like I was able to kind of chat with him here and there, and even if it's just good morning, a tap on the ass or something, it might help him out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next year. Obviously, that's not my decision. I've been fortunate to get really close with Casey, and we have kids that are similar age, and our wives are close as well, and that's been great this year. So yeah, we'll see.
And just GT, looking at the power play in the playoffs, were there things you guys realized now that you could have done differently, you would like to try to institute for next year? Are there lessons you can draw from this moment?
Yeah, no question. Like the power play was disappointing. I mean, I think that we all would agree. I don't know what the guy said earlier, but I mean, we had chances to change the course of games, and we didn't. And inevitably, that's our habits weren't good. Their habits were better than ours, especially in the Edmonton series. I think that they outworked us. It had nothing to do with the puck luck or anything. They didn't let us enter cleanly ever, and they're wasting a lot of time. I don't know. We our standard, or whatever you want to say about the power play, could get to another level, no question. And I think we all know that. And we could have been a bigger part of the playoffs, and we just weren't effective. And I just talk about creating. It's not about the goal all the time. It's just creating momentum for the team. And I feel like sometimes we suck the life out of the building, and that's on me. I mean, I take a lot of pride in the power play, so we'll be better.